You still want to talk about the other bowls?
Yeah. I'll talk about other bowls because I like other bowl committee selections.
Okay, you know who did a great job?
Who did a great job?
The New Mexico Bowl.
Good job, New Mexico Bowl.
Yep. It's a bowl game that, if you didn't know that the state of New Mexico existed, you wouldn't know that bowl game existed. Yeah. But they chose North Texas and Utah State.
This is a really good game.
UNC going for its 10th win of the season. I read the thing earlier, then I forgot what it actually said, but it hasn't happened in a long time. Let's put it that way. Mason Fine versus Jordan Love. Great quarterback.
These guys are good.
1-2 battle right there. And will Utah State be the same with Matt Wells now at Texas Tech?
Tune in to find out.
So, no, Utah State's been great all year long. Among the best group of 5 teams in the country, ultra competitive. And UNC is a team that's 9-3, but has never trailed by more than 7. So it could just as easily be 12-0. So I think that's a sneaky, awesome game at the front end of the bowl schedule.
Utah State is a win away against Boise State, which they were in the game in Boise late from being in the Mountain West Conference championship game against Fresno State, and that would have been a dogfight. And if they win that, they were probably a top 20 team in the country. And we saw what North Texas did against Arkansas. Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
You know what? On that note,
you had a whole show last week to dunk on me.
The next game I have on my list here is the Camping World Bowl, Syracuse and West Virginia. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Oh, okay.
You heard my thoughts. Obviously, I want to win, but I also don't want there to be a game.
I don't care.
You just did that to troll me.
I don't care. I probably won't. If Will Grier plays, I'll watch. If
Will Grier plays, it's going to be really high scoring, I think, because their offense is pretty good. I'm sure. The thing, defense travels?
Yeah.
West Virginia's defense doesn't travel.
Oh, okay.
We just leave that at home every time.
Well, what'd you do with it whenever Oklahoma was there? Couldn't find it?
Oh, we don't have it at home either.
Oh, okay. You said you left it at home, so I thought maybe.
Oh, no. Well, we never really had it. We just, pretend when we go on road trips, it's like, oh, man, we forgot it at home. But we never really had it.
Next time. Don't let me forget.
Yeah.
Okay. I have Citrus Bowl up next, but you can go.
I put the Peach Bowl, Michigan versus Florida. Rematch of the first game of last season.
Correct.
In which
it's a great memory.
Michigan dominated, and that was kind of the beginning of the end for McElwain. But this
was that the beginning of the end, or was it that photo of the dude on the boat that everybody thought was actually McElwain that still may have been McElwain?
I think it was.
Allegedly was not McElwain. I feel like that was the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah, you're probably right. But this didn't help.
Okay.
That picture's incredible. But can Harbaugh bounce back? I know a couple Michigan guys aren't going to play in the bowl game on the defensive side, and then Dan Mullen trying to finish his first season off in Gainesville on a very high note.
Yeah, Florida's top 10 ranked, and on paper they look like they had a good year. With my eyeballs, they never look good.
I know, right? Who was it? They had somebody. South Carolina. Remember that game? They were down 17 at one point in the second half and came back and won.
Yeah, I mean, that was not great. But I'm thinking more like when Mizzou went to Gainesville.
Right.
Or for that matter, when Florida was at Mississippi State. Mississippi State had about 400 opportunities to win that game and just kept missing opportunities. And then Florida runs a trick play, scores late, they win the game.
Yeah.
You left that game going. The team that played better for 90% of the game did not win.
They're not one of the 10 best teams in the country.
Oh, no. Well, here's the thing. College football this year is so top-heavy that I almost feel like once you get past number 8 or 9, they just kind of all run together at that point. Mm-hmm. Which I'm not saying that West Virginia's better than Florida, okay? I just want to make that clear.
I wasn't mad.
I know. I'm just letting you know that I think West Virginia is better than Florida.
I appreciate that.
But I do think that 9 through 25 or 15 through 35 or whatever it is, it's kind of all run together. Yeah. And at some point you got to rank somebody.
No, I know.
So
no, they did what they're supposed to do. I was just saying I don't think they're one of the 10 best teams.
Okay.
But I think I lean Michigan in that game.
Yeah, I mean, shit, if Michigan can forget what happened at Ohio State, I like them to win by about 75 points. Okay, so Citrus Bowl is Kentucky-Penn State, which I'm pretty pumped about because I've enjoyed watching Trace McSorley.
Mm-hmm.
It's his last ride for Penn State, but it could be a bumpy one because they've got that Kentucky defense that
very good.
is holding opponents to fewer than 17 points per game, which is good for 8th overall in the country. And only Georgia has cracked 30 against them this season.
Dang.
So McSorley versus that Kentucky D, and then also Benny Snell versus Miles Sanders.
Yeah, that's a really good game. I like. I haven't seen him do it as much this year, but McSorley, he's got the home run celebration.
You got to hit him.
Yeah, I know. He hasn't been hitting him as much.
It's been a tough go.
Yeah.
I like injuries have been responsible for a good portion of that, but
the dinger celebration's good. That's a good one.
Great celebration. I hope he gets to do it a lot in the Citrus Bowl because it'll be the last time that we get to see him.
That's right.
I don't think he's going to play on Sundays. Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, I have that one listed next. LSU UCF. This is the kind of game UCF has wanted all year. Now, what can they do against that LSU defense? Now, Devin White will play.
Set the tone.
Greedy Williams will not.
Did not set the tone.
He did not. He is being greedy. Ha 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 ha. I don't blame him one bit. I don't mean that.
No, I wouldn't blame him.
So what can UCF do with a backup quarterback against an LSU defense?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think it kind of like the Auburn game last year, it just comes down to how much LSU wants to be there. I think that Devin White and Ed Orgeron give LSU some hope that they're going to show up with attitude. I mean, if I got to pick a guy to inspire my team in a meaningless game, I'm going Orgeron over Malzahn, though that may shock you. So, yeah, if White and Orgeron can get the team going and your boy, Joe Burrow, one more shot.
Well, the good news is UCF's defense has been giving up a lot of points this season.
Mm-hmm. And their offense has actually not been that bad since Mackenzie Milton went out, though.
No, not at all.
84 points in the last 6.5 quarters since he was injured. So
they really haven't lost as far as scoring. No, I know how big of a player Mackenzie Milton was to the offense, but as far as scoring wise, they have not missed a step really that much. But on defense, I just see that LSU rushing attack just being too much and just controlling the clock.
Yeah. I hope, because I get really tired of the whole UCF mythical national title thing. They'll be back-to-back fake national champs if they win this game, so it's a big one for them. But yeah, I hope that LSU is able to run the ball.
I think, after last year, you saw what they did to Auburn against, like you said, a team that clearly didn't want to be there. LSU will not fall victim to that because you can just be like, look what happened last year.
Yeah.
When you guys didn't come like 100%.
And Auburn was like, they were an hour away from playing for a national championship or college football playoff spot and inevitably a national championship, and instead they end up in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Whereas LSU, the Peach Bowl is a pretty nice little reward for the year they've had.
Mm-hmm.
So
chance to get to 10 wins.
Yeah.
For my man.
Your man.
Go Tigers.
Oh, your man. Yeah, maybe he can come on the show next week whenever we're making our picks.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get him on.
I have one left on my list.
Okay.
How many do you have left on your list?
2.
Okay. Are either of them the Orange Bowl featuring Alabama and Oklahoma?
No, because I knew you were going to talk about that one.
Okay, well then I picked the Orange Bowl featuring Alabama and Oklahoma. Who's going to start, Jalen or Tua?
Tua.
I want to be there so badly whenever Nick Saban gets asked that question in the press conference.
He's going to kill somebody.
You know it's coming.
Why do I have to name a starter? That's what he said all offseason.
I know. It's so poetic to me that he's going to end the year with the same conversation that he started the year with, Jalen and Tua.
He thought he had this all settled.
Yeah, and now it's right back.
Man, I'm never going to have to talk about this again.
But how cool was it what Jalen did on Saturday?
It was really cool. Just like in the same arena where he had his job taken from him and Tua played hero. It was the other way around, so it was really cool. Against the same team.
Yeah. And, I mean, and really the same, I think it was like the same scenario as well. I realized that Tua had an ankle thing happen or whatever, but if Tua plays the rest of that game the way it was going, I think Georgia wins going away. Whereas you bring Jalen in, it changes the opponent so much. Yeah,
they said that they were not ready for that kind of quarterback.
Same thing from a year before. If you don't pull Jalen, I don't know that Alabama wins, but with Tua it works. Talk about a psychological battle now that Georgia is going to have to fight with Alabama. Alabama's in their head now. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the show, they've played 290 plays, and for 281 of them, Georgia's had the lead, and they're 0-2.
I don't feel bad for Georgia missing the playoff either.
No, you had your shot. You had a 14-point lead.
Yep.
You got a 30-yard chip shot to make it a 17-point
Yep.
lead. You blew it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, yeah, it was a close game in the end. And are they one of the 4 best teams? Like, if my life depended on it, is there a team I would take to play on my behalf other than Georgia or Alabama? No, I would take those 2 over anybody else. But there has to be consequences for losing a football game.
Yep, losses have to matter.
And they lost by 20 to LSU. It's not like they lost by 2. They lost by 20. And then they blew a 14-point lead to lose to Alabama.
Exactly.
So.
The 2 best teams on their schedule, they lost both those games. No other team in consideration for the playoff did that.
Kirk was pretty fired up about that, but he was also, you brought up a tweet that he had.
Yeah, he was. I'm gonna pull the tweet because I don't want to like mess it up. But yeah, he's one of the people that does not like this transfer rule. So this is what he said. What incredible example for kids out there that think leaving for greener pastures after seeing first sign of adversity is the answer. Jalen Hurts has shown amazing fortitude all year and has been an amazing leader and supporter of his teammates and now saves his team's dreams.
All anyone has to do to find counter material to Kirk's stupid thought that transferring is bad is look across the field when Alabama shows up to play Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, where Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray are about to go back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners at a program they did not start at.
Right.
I mean, Gardner Minshew, Shea Patterson,
Will Grier.
Like that's just off the top of our head. Like that's Will Grier, Shea Patterson, Gardner Minshew, and Kyler Murray are 4 of the 5 most impactful quarterbacks, or 4 of the 6 most impactful quarterbacks of the 2018 college football season. All are transfers. But you just want to put it in this nice, tidy little box with a bow on it that, see, transferring is bad.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is supposed to stay at a program that is clearly imploding at Texas A&M and just stay there and just ride the ship into the water.
Same thing with Shea at Ole Miss.
Yeah. Will Grier is supposed to stay at Florida for a coach that didn't recruit him and didn't want him. Literally was late to meetings to meet with him so he could go recruit Felipe freaking Franks. No, like every situation is different. It made no sense for Jalen to transfer when he was going to graduate in December. And he even said that. He even said that at media day when he finally got to talk.
Yeah.
He's like, it doesn't make any sense for me to leave.
I want to know if Kirk will still consider him to be the patron saint of sticking it out
when he transfers.
When he inevitably transfers.
Yeah. Yeah. So every situation is different, and sure, there might have been times when it was best for guys that transferred to stay, but very, very, very few stories end up like Jalen Hurts did.
Almost none of them. That's why everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's a Disney movie."
Yeah. So
it was ultra rare and ultra awesome. I couldn't be happier for the guy, but for one of the most influential people in college football to act like that Jalen is the example for quarterbacks who don't know if they should leave or go or stay or go is asinine and borderline reckless and stupid and whatever the other negative adjective you can. Anyway, the bowl game itself is Kyler versus Tua. Heisman winner Kyler versus Heisman runner-up Tua. OU has traditionally played really well against the SEC, including Alabama. And
I think you've won your last 3 against Alabama.
Well, I remember one in particular in the Sugar Bowl with some man named Trevor Knight, who was actually not a great player, but for one night, he was like, I don't know what happened to him, but he morphed into like a Heisman Trophy candidate, and it was incredible. So hopefully it goes kind of that way this time around. I want to believe in Oklahoma here. I just really cannot fathom how that secondary is going to contain that wide receiver group with Jaron Judy and Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs and Irv Smith and like.
Take the over.
Oh, definitely take the over. Yeah.
People want to mock Oklahoma giving up a bunch of points, but whether they do or not, they know how to win shootouts and they can do it.
Yeah.
So
that's the path to victory here. Is if Alabama's defense cannot stop Oklahoma, and we're talking about a 55-50 game, well, now we're playing to Oklahoma's strength.
Right. I favor Oklahoma in that kind of game.
That wraps up my bowl previews.
I
Now
got
onto
two
yours.
more. I'll do one really quick. I don't know why I'm so interested in it. I really have, I don't know, not much explanation, but the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl.
Mm-hmm. It's a great name.
Purdue versus Auburn. I just think it's kind of a just a little fun, interesting matchup with Jeff Brom. I like that he's staying at Purdue. Interested to see what the ceiling is there,
Mm-hmm.
how high he can take that program. And I love watching Rondell Moore play.
Mm-hmm.
And just interested to see how they match up with Auburn. And then the final one, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, rematch of last year's Orange Bowl, Miami and Wisconsin. And last year, Miami obviously ended the season losing their last 3 games, including that bowl game. And Wisconsin was 12-1 going into that game. The only loss was to Ohio State, right?
Sure.
In the Big Ten championship game, I believe. And so that's interesting. They're meeting in very different circumstances this year.
Very different.
I think Wisconsin 7-5 and Miami 6-6. But just interesting that those two meet in such a random bowl game.
I like that bowl game though.
Yeah.
Because they played it. I like the playing in Yankee Stadium
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it, and I don't know. I just
And also, this is really random, but at the end of last year's game, the cameras caught Paul Christ, Wisconsin's head coach, saying turnover chain my effing ass.
wow.
Because they really put it on him.
Thanks for bleeping that out for the
Yeah.
kids. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd do my best.
Well, that could motivate Miami.
I don't know.
Or it could be that Paul gave us a little look into side of his brain at the intense hatred that he actually has for the University of Miami, and maybe that's a clue.
that he's going to have them ready to go.
Yeah, they're going to be ready to rock. Bag them.
Okay.
You know? Which way you want to go?
He should say it again.
He should say it in the locker room before the game.
Yeah.
Like over and
Get
over.
him fired up.
Yeah, break a chain.
They should have a chain. They should have their own chain.
They should have a W chain.
W chain.
For wins. And Wisconsin.
Boom.
I'll be
And
here all week.
turnovers.
That one's free, but the next one will cost you guys.